This story is called The Perfect Crime by TheArchimage.
Oh, is it new?
It is new.
Did you make it especially for anyone?
Well, the note says, special thanks to Coram Deo for inspiring this piece, and to all the members of the Fanfic Paradise Discord server for supporting and encouraging me.
Does it have to do with something you're not allowed to do at home?
Maybe.
Well, if so,
This seems to be a continual... I should suggest that he entitle this series Ways for Coram Deo's Children to be Bad.
Yeah, just make
Are
a
you
collection
recording
or a
this?
series.
Yeah, I am.
Recorded.
Oh no, you're
Yeah!
Yes, I need to try this at home. I have no clue what
All right, yeah, just tell him
He
that.
needs to make a series or collection or something that's called, like, Don't Try This at Home, kids.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one. Don't try this at home.
No, try this at home.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I
Totally.
meant.
Don't try this at home with the don't crossed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, fortunately you can't cross out words in your series
You
names.
can't.
Actually,
So
you
it'll
can.
just-
If you get strike through text, you could.
Yeah, but I don't think you can in this. So,
whatever.
sorry, don't try this at home.
No, try this at home.
Alright, well, let's see what it is.
They were returned to existence by a voice whispering their name. Kara, are you awake? Kara opened their eyes. For them, it felt like less than a second since they'd closed them, but days or weeks may have passed and they would have been none the wiser. Except as they looked around the room and saw everything exactly the same as it was when they went to sleep, it may have only been minutes. I am now, they confirmed. They spun around mid-air to look below them, where a child was huddled in a twin-sized bed underneath all the covers. Is something the matter, Frisk? I can't sleep, Frisk whined. And you decided the best way to cure this condition was to give it to someone else? Kara teased. But if you insist on my company, it is not within my power to refuse you. Frisk sighed. I was hoping you knew some good ways to fall asleep. Sadly, insomnia was a constant companion of mine when I was alive. I never found a way to get rid of it that always worked, and likely nothing you haven't heard before. Counting, lying on my side if I ate something bad and needed my stomach to settle, wailing into the crook of their arm or into some dirty laundry until they were too exhausted to stay up. But the less Kara thought about that, the better off everyone would be. Or perhaps a light snack will settle your nerves. A snack sounds good, Frisk admitted, but I don't want to wake anyone else up. Why not get something that takes no preparation? I believe there are some crackers and some cheese slices. Oh, or you could get some ice cream. It's almost winter and you want me to eat ice cream? No, it makes sense, Kara said. Ice cream is high in fat, and that makes the digestion process take a lot of energy. That generates heat for outstripping the initial cooling effect, so it'll actually warm you up.
That is my new argument. This is a great idea so far.
Frisk raised an eyebrow dubiously. Is that really true? Of course it is, the ghost nodded. I know it's true because I read it on the internet. Frisk opened their mouth, thought for a moment, and then closed it again. They must have realized they were about to try to talk their way out of eating ice cream. But I have to sneak past Toriel to get to the kitchen. I never said it wouldn't be dangerous, Kara said. I would not have suggested it if I did not think that you were up to the task. Frisk took a deep breath, summoned up all their courage, and threw off the covers. Kara told them one last time, Remember, Frisk, this is a sneaking mission. Try not to get caught. Frisk slipped on a pair of socks to muffle the sound of their feet and carefully turned the doorknob on their bedroom. They crept down the hall and to the stairs, taking care to avoid the fourth step, which creaked no matter how softly you put your weight down. From the stairs, they had a view of the entire living room. What?
It's some other story. The fourth step creaked.
Huh. Well, I don't know.
It did.
Well, I'll take your word for it.
That was another story.
From the stairs, they had a view of the entire living room, including the couch where Toriel was sleeping. Her face was buried in the corner of the couch, her head resting on a pillow, and with only a single sheet for covers. It would look shabby unless one remembered Toriel's fur would keep her quite warm with only minimal coverings. Frisk breathed through their nose slowly and evenly, moving at an agonizingly slow pace down the stairs and through the living room to the kitchen. The fridge was stainless steel and had its freezer down at the bottom, having originally been purchased with no expectation of children being in the home. This left the ice cream within easy reach of any 8-year-olds looking for a midnight snack. The sound of the freezer drawer rolling out was scarcely audible, but in the silence of a house at midnight was as deafening as rolling thunder. Frisk froze, listening for Toriel's voice or a rustling in the living room to alert them that the jig was up. They counted to 10 in their head, and then, hearing nothing, peered inside. There were some freezer meals of both the monster and non-monster variety, an ice cube tray, a half-full tub of nice cream, and human-made chocolate-coated chocolate ice cream bars. You remember that it actually needs to hit your stomach to get the warming effect, Kara suggested. Frisk took the hint and made their choice. They received the narration. You take the human-made ice cream. Oh, you're so hungry that you actually took 2 of them. Frisk winced at the paper wrapper crinkling under their touch and held their breath as they slid the freezer drawer closed. The way back was even more harrowing than the way there. Frisk held onto the popsicles tightly so that they wouldn't make any noise and tiptoed past Toriel once again. She hadn't moved since they first passed her, but Frisk still waited a moment to make sure her breathing was steady and slow before slinking away. They nearly put their foot down on that blasted 4th step, only stopping when Kara seethed in warning and reached the top without further incident.
How do you see it in the warning?
I don't know. Probably just
wrong.
Finally, Frisk returned to their room, keeping the doorknob turned as they closed the door to prevent the telltale click of the latch setting. Well done, Kara congratulated. Enjoy the fruits of your success. Frisk unwrapped both of the bars, depositing the paper wrapping in the trash can. They grasped the bars by the handy sticks that they were mounted on, then held the one in their right hand out in front of Kara. Here! Kara sighed. Is that why you took 2? You know full well I can't actually eat that. I know, they said. But look, if I hold...
in a normal voice.
Well, they're back in their bedroom now. But look, if I hold one in front of me and one in front of you and let you move my body, it'll be like you're eating it. It was a strange phenomenon. Kara was able to control Frisk's body, but only at Frisk's pleasure. If Frisk so much as clenched a muscle, the link would break. And there was a subtle but crucial difference between letting go of control and actively trying to remain perfectly still that Frisk had not entirely mastered yet. In addition, Kara could feel some of what Frisk experienced, especially scent, taste, and touch. Put those 2 together, and yes, it would work. Kara would control Frisk's body and have them eat the ice cream, which Kara would then taste, so it would feel like Kara was eating it. In theory. In practice, they had never done something like this precise thing before. Still, Kara thought as they stared at the chocolate-covered treat hovering so tantalizingly close, even if they didn't really need to eat anymore, it had been quite a while since they got to snack. And ice cream. Had they ever eaten ice cream before? Kara honestly couldn't remember. They had taken too long to respond, however, and Frisk's shoulders drooped. Sorry, they mumbled. It was a dumb idea, I guess. Well, hold on. I didn't say I wouldn't try it. Kara hastily tried to mimic Frisk's position. one hand in front of them and the other holding something on a stick off to the side. While not strictly necessary, it was easier to move Frisk's body in the way human bodies could actually be moved if they started from the same position. Kara closed their left hand over the ice cream held by Frisk's right. Kara swallowed, feeling the heat from Frisk's fingers travel up their arm and nestle in around their cheeks. Now that they thought about it, this was actually rather intimate. Well, they were both still children. It was nothing to get upset about. Even Kara could get close to people once in a while. They only hoped that Frisk wouldn't. Frisk giggled. "Aw, it's like we're holding hands." Ah, that dumb kid. Why did they have to point it out? Couldn't they tell Kara was already self-conscious about it? "You can start whenever you're ready. Just don't eat so fast that I get a headache." "No promises," Kara teased. They took a deep breath and focused on the ice cream. How does one eat these? They knew ice cream cones were licked, but if they did that, they would only get a tongue full of chocolate coating, which didn't sound bad, but the real prize was inside. They supposed they would need to bite through, and regardless of whether they could taste it or not, the ice cream in front of Kara would not get any smaller no matter how much they ate. That might break the illusion. So Kara closed their eyes before they leaned forward, biting into the chocolate coating. The ice cream itself was a smooth and rich chocolate, which contrasted well with the more mild coating. Objectively speaking, it was only okay as far as chocolate went, but for a child who had not had chocolate for a very long time, it was heavenly. They chewed on the coating long enough for it to partially melt and get stuck between their molars, but they didn't care. Within a few moments, they had eaten the entire thing and were sucking the last bits of ice cream stuck to the wooden stick. "Okay," they said finally, letting their hands drop. "I'm done. You can move your body now." Kara opened their eyes and looked at Frisk. They immediately had to stifle a guilty snicker. Whoops, a little bit got on your face." Frisk shrugged with a laugh, not even bothering to wipe the brown smudges off of their chin and nose. "I'm just glad you got to enjoy it." Their throat burned from the cold, and they exhaled several times in quick succession in an attempt to warm it up while they threw away the moist but spotless stick. "You still have another one," Kara reminded them of the chocolate treat in their left hand. "I suppose it's too late to put it back in the wrapper." Frisk gave them a naughty smile. "That one was yours. This one's mine." Ah, so that was their scheme. Kara narrowed their eyes, but they were smiling back. "I applaud your clever trick to eat twice as much ice cream, but you do know that it all goes into the same stomach, right? Don't blame me if you get a stomach ache." Frisk wasn't listening. They had already put their own ice cream in their mouth, making a little hum of appreciation.
That's all.
And that is the end of that.
At all.
No, apparently not.
What? But Toriel caught them last time.
It's the gun thing.
With the what?
With the
Yeah.
spud gun thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Well, that one did kind of explode and break windows and stuff.
It literally didn't say don't try this at home anywhere.
Yeah!
So
Yeah.
And they even gave a good explanation for why you should eat
Daddy.
ice cream in winter.
However,
And we got some ice cream tonight because
we need to get
running
some ice
over.
cream bars now.
They have some ice cream?
Nope.
It's not chocolate.
Nope, and
It's
I
vanilla.
keep precise measurements of every single
I'm sure
scoop
you
of
do.
ice cream in the containers.
Well, have you measured it
So-
as of tonight? Because we ate some before you got there.
Well, now that I've read this story,
No.
I'll go measure it before bed,
Rats.
and then I'll check back to see how much there is in the
Might
morning.
be up.
I'll eat the
Daddy.
other ice cream then.
Nope, I'm going to measure all of them.
Daddy, can we get some ice cream bars now?
No.
Thanks, TheArchimage. This is a great idea.
Yes, it is.
Please
Okay.
write more stories about things to try at home involving Kara
Yes.
and Frisk.
Yeah, we're going to delete this part of the recording.
I know.
Was Asriel not even in this story?
No.
Come on.
Okay, we need Asriel to appear too.
Well, this continues
There
a
needs to
series
be-
of stories where Kara and Frisk are together, but Azrael,
That's true. Well, then
he has not shown
do
up.
some sort of story that was like the one in the far future where Kara was not a ghost.
He really does need to
Oh yeah, that's
make-
true. The potato gun is a future story,
Yeah,
isn't
so
it?
have
Yeah,
have
that's
some
true.
sort of thing where they're doing some scheme, but it's all three of them.
Well, I'm sure Azrael would be far too nice to go along with any
He might
underhanded.
get roped into
things.
it by Kara, though.
I'm sure.
That is true.
And Frisk wouldn't be too
Against
hard
it.
to persuade.
Probably not.
Okay, now
And then
TheArchimage
Monster
really
Kid
needs
is
to make
around as well, so
a collection or
And that was
series
what
or
the
something
Spud Gun was.
yeah, it's true.
of the. We really need a collection or series of "Don't try this at home."
Yeah, emphasis on
I mean,
don't.
try this at
At
home.
home!
Try this at home
Yes,
stories.
Don't ever try.
No, let's
Try
just
this at home
emphasis on
stories.
don't home. So just
Well,
don't
this one
home.
was the least
There'll
dangerous.
be a series called "Don't Read This at Home, Coram Deo, or Children."
Don't home.
Hide this from your children.
Don't
Oh
home.
dear.
Maybe I can convince the Archimage to write a story about children behaving properly and being
Right.
being sweet and respectful
And
and
behind the scenes, they're
only-
just doing amazing things
Yes.
that we should try at home.
doing it. Yes, amazing, wonderful, perfectly reasonable,
They could have like
appropriate things. Yes, that would be a great
Like
story.
what? Saving every character possible in Undertale that's not safe. Like Gaster, all the Gaster followers, Kara, and Azrael.
Well, I didn't
Donna
have.
did.
I didn't
What?
really have
Donna.
writing as one of those ideas, but sure. Yeah,
Oh,
writing.
the story where Kara and
Oh,
Frisk and Asriel all go back to the underground secretly. Like they all sneak back there, they do stuff.
And then they just eat
Like
all
what?
ice cream there.
It's all,
there is-
but it's all abandoned.
I
Or
know,
will
but
be.
there's
They play hide and seek in the whole underground.
yeah, and they have like radios or something, walkie-talkies, because that would be
Yes.
fun. And then you can like give each other hints about where you are and stuff.
That is
Wow.
a good idea.
And I'm pretty sure
And
when
Monster
for like
Kid,
a
too.
third or a fourth or maybe a third of the
There'd
underground.
be so many places to hide.
there's a
Though.
lot
It's
of-
huge under
There's
there.
a lot of Snowden
Well-
forest that you don't go.
Yeah, I
What
know.
if-
There's like huge forest.
Well,
All
Maybe-
those houses at New Home. All
Daddy,
those
you could
places in the
restrict it
ruins.
to the part that Frisk went through because Flowey following Frisk would have known, so Azrael would know, and Kara would know, and Frisk would know, so it worked fine.
Hmm.
What about what if Kara was able to get like more of their soul or something so that they were like still a ghost, but
I
other
think they
people
what
could
now
see
have
them.
like 3/4 of a soul or something
Yeah.
I
like
don't
that
know,
now.
but like only Frisk can still see them, right?
And other ghosts and the
Yeah.
skeletons.
So
But didn't
That's
they?
a good
but
collection
he
of people.
accidentally but he managed to like
Yeah.
touch Frisk, so like.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
but-
did. It's true.
I still didn't really
But
get
what
how Mediton saw him.
Because Mediton's a ghost.
I mean, like, how Kara figured out that Mediton.
Basically.
Oh well, he suddenly went up to like
I mean-
punch him in the face and
Yeah, but he
saw
kind
him
of had
flinch.
like an idea.
I thought it was a she.
It wasn't just an idea. Who,
turn
Kara?
around, he,
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of a they.
In this particular story.
Whatever. Okay,
I
I
don't
need some
know.
more try this at home stories.
Some more what? Don't try this at home.
Some more try this at home.
Don't try this at homes. Yes.
Yeah, so tell the Archimage to make a story where they go into the underground
What if,
and do things.
Well, at least I don't have to worry that you'll do that.
what if they did?
That's a
through-
non-imitative story, so that
Well, so was the
That'd be
sliding giant block of ice.
it's
thing.
true. Yep.
What if they did?
Are you still recording, by the way?
Yeah,
I
keep
believe
recording.
I am.
Good.
What if they did like a cornfield maze, but Kara floated above everything?
Wait, they did a cornfield maze and Kara planted a bomb? Is that what you said?
No, a car floating above him.
Oh, Kara floated above them. Okay. Wow. Suddenly, it got to be really, really not quite a general audience rating for that
Okay,
one.
so no, but what I was saying earlier is
How?
What
Their
if-
character
if
test.
somehow everybody else could see Kara, but they were still a ghost. Because if that was the case, that would have so many possibilities
Okay.
for like if they went back to the underground, or
What
just have it
makes
be like
Kara a ghost then?
that they don't have all of their soul.
Well,
They
I
don't
mean,
have
connect wrist.
Kara never
They have most of
never
their
got a
soul.
body back in.
They have most of their
How to Save
soul,
a Soul.
but not all of
It wasn't called How to Save a Body.
Well, how to save a body would be.
And technically, it was more like how to save 3/4 of a soul. So we're still waiting for the other.
We should sue them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sue the Archimage for misrepresentation of his story.
Yeah.
We got 25% less soul than we expected to have saved. I see.
That sounds great.
Well, maybe it was Frisk's soul being saved.
But
Maybe
Frisk
you
already
got
had a soul.
Maybe you got 175% of the
But
soul.
Frisk already had a soul. It's kind of implied that it's Kara's soul.
But what if it's Azrael's soul?
I should have seen that part coming from a mile away.
But-
when Frisk is like saving Kara and the thing.
I did.
I did.
I mean,
I was thinking it was
He said he
Azrael,
called
and
their
then it's like,
name.
Oh, when he's calling out everybody's name, and then at the very end.
I heard like.
It's like Kara, and Kara's like, what?
If I had to guess, I would guess that that's where the Archimage probably started his story idea. Right, zoned in on that particular incident, and then the rest of the story got built around that. Is my guess. What are you throwing at the wall? Throwing Nerf darts? Oh, okay.
Okay, let's see. So there's cornfield maze.
No, that's
What other
that's
great
a-
ideas?
No,
I mean, that was not.
Not with a bomb
maybe
in it.
just have it be where Kara is not a ghost. Wait, Jeff, wait.
Kara has like 7-8 souls or something.
No, if
Yeah, we still
Kara
need to see the archer.
if Kara is not a ghost anymore, then Frisk and Kara and Azrael and Monster Kid all secretly go back to the underground and
Hang
maybe
on.
they're just exploring and have
Yeah, but you gotta have a plot. What happens there? Why do they go? What
maybe
what
they-
dangers do they face?
maybe
What
they
troubles do they overcome?
Daddy.
How does it end? In tragedy?
Yes.
no.
In happiness?
No, they
in
need
just
to hang out.
boringness?
Maybe that's how Kara gets the rest of her soul back.
Daddy, they need to hang
By
out.
finding it in the underground?
By something in the underground. I mean, where
Maybe
would
like
the
a
rest
soul
of it be?
scavenger hunt.
Where would the rest of it be? If
A
not
quarter
in
of
the
a soul, a
underground?
quarter of a soul, a quarter of a soul.
Well, let's see. Where would the rest of Kara's soul be? So the other children
Like-
going through
yeah.
had a piece of it. So
But-
maybe when Kara died, they didn't have all
They lost
their.
a quarter
They
of
had.
their
They
soul.
lost some of their soul. Maybe it's buried.
Yeah.
Maybe the rest of it's
Okay.
all the way back in the flower bed.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, cool. I
Maybe
was.
you can try to go down the hole.
What
Did
the?
you fall down?
Not try. I mean, they could.
So you have to,
Toriel would
Yeah, I
just
mean
run
that would
for
be easy
something.
enough. You just
you have to use a rope.
eat your way down the hole, and
Hurt.
What did you say?
golden flowers would
Eat
break
your
your
way-
fall.
You
Yeah.
say eat your way down the hole.
No, I did not say eat your way down the hole.
Daddy,
But anyway, so
Toriel
yeah,
would just
so
be
the
like
plot-
safety equipment times 1,000.
Well, they could wear safety
No,
equipment.
Toriel would want them to, so that's why they're sneaking out. This is why this is a don't try.
But she doesn't know that Kara's there.
Exactly. Well, exactly. So
just Frisk
Frisk
going
and
there for no
Azrael.
reason.
and Monster Kid.
Wait, Frisk, Azrael's not there.
Too bad. Now he
But
can't.
Azrael is there.
This can be a
Well,
different
we
world.
don't have any story in the Archimage's world where Azrael exists that Kara does not also
This could
exist
be a new
in bodily
but
form.
if
how
If
anonymous
you
has
know
to
I don't
that
think.
in later canon both Azrael and Kara exist that everybody can see,
Now,
Did they
then
both
maybe
come at the
Azrael
same time?
exists. Yeah, maybe Azrael exists before Kara.
No, at the same time or one
well,
at
I
a
bet the
time?
Archimage already has ideas about that.
So this is after Azrael gets saved. However that happens.
What if
and
Kara
before-
comes first?
No. So what if Azrael comes first?
Well,
What if Kara comes?
so if you want him to write a story, though, you have to fit into his canon.
Whatever. But
I
just
have
tell him that
ideas
idea.
for stories.
Or give him the entire recording if it's
Okay.
still recording. No problem. I love it.
I believe it is still
Daddy,
recording.
Azrael and
My
Frisk and
goodness.
Kara need to hang out with Mettaton and or Undyne. And it would make
And do what?
well, with Undyne, they'd probably have stuff involving spears and cooking, maybe. And with
Yes!
Mettaton, they'd have like
Cooking.
great dancing or shows or
And
bombs.
But wait a minute, is this still Kara that nobody can see except the ghosts
Yes,
and
Kara's
skeletons?
just hovering around watching. Well, they kind of already did
No,
that. in
I think
the
they'd all have a
actual
problem.
story.
And it's like, okay, dearies, can you get to sing? I mean, oops, Kara, sorry, you can't do anything.
Dearies? That sounds like Muffet now.
Oh,
I mean-
Oh, I know. If Mettaton is a ghost, but Mettaton has a body, what if Kara gets like a body around themselves that is
oh, yeah.
visible, just like Mettaton?
No.
Oh, it gets like a robot body?
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
Kara,
Not permanent, just like
make
Kara
her
gets
look
outfit.
Kara gets outfits to make a body, or Frisk gets outfits to make a body for Kara, and then there's like Mettaton's partner.
Or Kara just
No.
gets Mettaton's boxy body.
Oh, wow. So,
Alpha's just
so Kara would be rolling around in Metaton's old body.
And then there would also be Metaton in his humanoid form. There'd be 2 Metatons.
It would be a very sarcastic, irritated, sardonic Metaton,
Yeah, who doesn't like being
which would be who doesn't like being touched, and who frankly doesn't like all the attention of people either. It would be very, very confusing to all the monsters who know Metaton.
It's post How to Save a Soul.
So Kara's pretty.
So it's
Kara's better
after all
at
this.
least, but it still doesn't like being
No,
touched.
because the original plot is just to like do something that you're not supposed to do.
This is an
Don't try it at
amazing
home.
plot. The Archimage needs to really write about that.
Home stories can be done at home, but that
They don't have to necessarily be able to be done at
Yes,
home.
I am fully happy for him to write stories that you cannot imitate.
Also, Daddy, you have to send him the whole recording because there are so many great things in here.
Yeah, this recording is far longer than the actual story was.
good.
Yeah, well, don't delete any of it.
If I was him, I would want to hear.
And don't stop it either because we haven't stopped talking.
Yeah, we could say more ideas.
Yeah.
And I can just sit
you've
here
probably
considering whether I
See,
should
what
throw Pikachu at you or not.
What if Kara and Frisk prank somebody?
Oh yeah.
Like the perfect
no,
size
you need more plot than that.
Okay, well, I don't know. I still like the idea of
You have to have the big scene in your mind. What's the big
But if
finale
you
or
said
the
that,
climax
the
or the?
Archimage would already know what to write, and he would probably want to come up with stuff himself. If you just have general ideas, you can make up stories off of them.
Well, that's
Because
true.
you get ideas.
It's
That's
true.
what happens. Like,
You can
That's how
have
it
a
works.
treasure hunt and it goes super fast because Kara is helping Frisk. And then like everybody else is taking ages to do it, but Kara like knows everything.
Guards that goes.
And then they have flowers.
No, it's a literal treasure hunt. And Kara
I mean,
goes,
Kara wouldn't necessarily know anything more than Frisk. He would just be
No.
like 2 people.
No, Kara can go under the ground and look for all the treasure.
oh wow,
He's under the-
literally
It's buried treasure? Wow.
Yeah, it is. But if Flowey's there, then he might have an advantage, you know?
Flowey?
Because he's read every book and stuff.
Where did Flowey come from?
From my head! Stop pointing a gun at me.
It's a thing.
You could have Flowey. I mean, Flowey's still there.
Yeah.
All right, that
Okay, stick Flowey in Metaton's body, his old body. It would be amazing.
Flowey can't see
It
Kara,
would just
right?
be a flower inside a metal box.
Flowey.
That wouldn't be that. That wouldn't be a very
Flowey
interesting.
can't see Kara, can he?
No.
I don't
So-
believe he can.
Rats!
No, he can't. In fact,
Yeah,
because we know that Azrael, when he looked like Azrael, could also not see Kara.
Yeah.
I was not
And
happy.
he was-
I wanted Azrael to see
Oh yeah, and
Kara.
at some point Flowey said, like, I didn't understand half the things you were doing in all your loads.
That's
Wait,
true.
who said
Flowey
what?
said that.
Oh.
Frisk.
I forgot that.
I know. So Frisk and Flowey decide to do something, but Frisk and Kara can see everything Frisk and Flowey are doing, but Frisk knows that like Kara's there and Kara's helping Frisk with whatever, but Flowey
Flowey has all
doesn't
this
know.
knowledge, and Flowey has all his knowledge from reading books and like stuff, and his advantage of burrowing.
We
that's
just have
basically
the story
teleportation.
of Kara and Frisk reading the internet and like monster stuff and just reading stories that are wrong and just being like, that's wrong.
What if I doubt he would do this, but what if Frisk told Flowey what was happening with Kara?
That would be.
So you just be like,
Well,
haha, you're joking, right?
And then Frisk could say something that only Kara knew.
But what if Flowey was
And Frisk would just be like, friendship, headbutt.
different, like in Daddy's story?
wait, what?
What if Flowey was like not like he acted like a safe Flowey in your story?
Well, wait,
But
but
Frisk
Oh, like
didn't
if he
say-
was
but
if he
Frisk
was
didn't say
doing
that,
better.
Azrael.
I
mean, I guess he sort of did, but not the same way.
Well, in my stories, he.
No, not in yours.
Or like
How to say-
Oh, in the Archimages, yeah. Let's do we? I don't think we see Flowey after the Azrael fight.
So Flowey could be like
Yeah.
Flowey
I don't know.
with Azrael personality, or I was picturing Flowey with Flowey personality, and Flowey's just like, "Hi, howdy, I'm Flowey," and then Frisk is like, "Hey, guess what? I have Kara here, and Kara can hear you." And Flowey's like, what? You're joking! And then Frisk says something.
Frisk was just like, friendship headbutt.
Flowey's like, what?
Right? Like,
What's going on?
What's
And
happening
I
to
don't
me?
know.
Yes, that has
I don't know,
possibilities.
That could be a really cool plot idea. And if that was somehow into the plot, then you could also have stories about
the Archimage
Frisk and
should write
Flowey
some
doing
Deltarune
where-
stories.
Frisk could talk
Deltarune
to
under-
Flowey, and like Kara can say things through Frisk to Flowey. Sort of like what they were doing with Sandy's
Oh, yeah,
before,
yeah,
before
yeah.
Kara knew
Daddy.
Sans could see.
I just got the
Yeah, I'm
best
pretty
idea.
sure that. I don't remember why. So Azrael in How to Save the Soul is talking to Frisk, right? And he's saying things like, Kara wasn't the best person.
Mm-hmm.
Kara doesn't respond, and I think the Archimage had a reason for that. I don't remember what it was, unless he was just wanting to save that, for a future story. But, so yeah, I don't know if Kara is interested in this point at talking to Flowey, or whether Kara still feels guilty and...
Well, maybe there could be a story about that.
Daddy.
Well, I mean, so his whole story that he's working on now, pretty sure has to do with the getting Azrael
Yeah,
back
so it probably
back
wouldn't
alive again.
work. So just have like side canon stories like this.
Oh.
No, we still need Kara into Mettaton's body.
Daddy.
All right. Yes.
Daddy.
Yes. Hello.
Has the Archimage played Deltarune?
Yes, he has.
Can
We
you,
should make an Undertale Deltarune crossover with Lancer and Papyrus, because they're like kind of alike and they'd have a great time together.
Well, we're pretty sure that
I have
Papyrus
an
will
actual
show
question.
up in Deltarune. An actual question.
If you're sending this to the Archimage,
I don't know at
Yes,
this
you're
point.
sending this all, Daddy.
Papyrus
Oh,
and
my
Lancer
goodness.
doing stuff.
wait,
because
can I say it?
Daddy,
Papyrus
send
and
it to
Lancer
him
would
and
be
see if he
hilarious.
wants it.
Papyrus and
Yeah.
Lancer
See if he
would be
wants to-
hilarious.
Like, you send it all to him and he listens to the story part and then just chooses if he wants to keep going.
Yeah.
Um,
Like you say something like, the Archimage, if you're still listening at this point, let us know, and
Say cheese.
Flying Unhindered and Yisha will write you a personal story.
what?
There you go. There you go. Oh, it's on recording now.
Oh, right.
It's
All right,
been
but
promised.
I have that.
Yes, what was your actual question?
Papyrus and Lancer cross thingy doing things together, and that would be great, and you just failed.
Silence. Anyway, what I was wondering is, in How to Save a Soul, it described encounters as like you get into their magical field and their red heart appears on Frisk's chest.
Yep.
Which, when Jeff played Deltarune, that's literally exactly what the encounters look like. You walk into their
Yeah, if you're walking
area
around
and the red
outside.
heart appears and like
Yep.
So was it based on that?
exactly was
Was Deltarune based on How to Save a Soul?
No, was How
Wow.
to Save a Soul based on, like, was that encounter, because all of the stuff in How to Save a Soul is, like, really canonically correct. Like, it all makes sense in canon.
Well, I think the Archimage was just trying to figure out how do you take this
Yeah.
Undertale game mechanic
But was,
and make it
yeah.
in real life. And
But
so
was that based off of what Deltarune looked like? Because that Deltarune literally looks exactly like the description
Almost
of
How to Save a Soul.
I don't think so, because I think How to Save a Soul comes before Deltarune. So I think he probably just thought about, the box, the game, and thought, what would this look like in real life? And so he decided, well, what if it's a magical field and it causes your soul
How
to
would
become
he
visible?
be restricted? Because in the game, you have the bullet box, but in the How to Save a Soul, his encounters, he's not restricted by a box or anything.
Well,
You just go wherever.
I don't know. You can't do everything.
I still think the Deltarune thing is, like,
For instance, some people, when they write fictions, actually have monsters and Frisk taking turns.
Yeah.
Like, they do an attack, and then they sit there patiently and wait for Frisk. Other people just have it as, everything's happening at once.
turns is more canonically correct, but only because of the game mechanic.
Okay.
The answer together would be
No,
great
we
and
aren't done
hilarious,
yet.
and you totally need to do it.
We aren't done yet.
We have to say
talk
something to
about
end this, like, go eat chocolate ice cream.
No, we have to. He should just
I want
send us
to-
a great message or something.
I'm pretty sure the Archimage turned this off long ago.
Leave kudos on our missed crossover, even though you don't
No.
really
Hey,
care
you
about
can't go soliciting for
No.
kudos.
He just needs to.
Oh, I guess maybe you can. It's kind of the equivalent of saying, please like and subscribe to my video.
Yeah,
Please kudo and comment my story.
but Daddy, he should read the detail because it's
I don't know if he likes Mist.
I don't know that he's played Myst.
Daddy,
Just
you
taking
should say like and
characters
subscribe. You
and
can say
tossing them
please,
into Undertale.
please kudos, subscribe, and comment.
Well, there is some mist setting.
I mean, okay, there's a little bit of mist.
Tell the
But you
Archimage
probably-
that if he likes Undertale because of its story, and if he likes puzzles,
like Kara.
if he likes puzzles, then you should play Mist. And also, yes, Kara is in Undertale, which I guess he already knows. And since he likes car stories, then he would like it.
Yep.
And
It's still my turn to write. Tell him the next chapter hasn't been written yet because I'm busy writing other stories. Namely, one long story that we've been working on that will come out someday when we're done with it.
But he needs to read it because it's mostly just Undertale, and you took some mist characters and stuck them in there. And
Yeah.
there's a couple places.
But I mean, if you don't know anything about Mist, then
Yeah.
then ask Daddy.
Part of the fun is having
Emily, how
is
does the
knowing
legend
that
start?
there's-
I don't know.
what? Oh,
That's irrelevant.
all right. Sounds like we're kind of wrapping up here now.
For goodness sake.
What else do you have to say?
Jeff.
I don't remember, but it was about the story.
What?
Like and subscribe, and please
Yeah.
purchase some of my products. And check the store for hoodies and mugs and
Yeah.
Dunnytail hoodies and
Oh, wow.
mugs and T-shirts and
Daddy, you should
Oh yeah, yeah.
posters.
Tail.
It's not Duck Me, Jeff.
No, it's not. Anyway, I don't know.
Okay.
The end. Goodbye.
Enjoy all of
Yeah.
his comments.
He needs to read.
And
Yeah.
please write more stories so that we know what else we can do it for.
Also, tell the Archimage that we want him to listen to it also.
Yeah, nobody's listening to this at this point.